Lise. We would like to talk a little bit about your experience. We'd like to talk a little bit about your experiences with the way social services have helped you to, when you've been down or when the situation was not as good as it used to be. Well, your name is Lise. Well, maybe you can introduce yourself a little bit, just to.
I'm called Lise Jul Pedersen, and as I said, I'm educated at the University of Aarhus, and I have my own TV station in Denmark, and then I've been a member of the youth movement in Denmark also for 20 years.
And can you tell us a little bit now about what your needs in life were? What was the problem? When did you have those problems? And how you felt the need that you need to somehow find help somewhere else? And where did you find that help?
My problem was really that I had been terribly poor when I was a child. Because my mother was so extremely, had a lot of social anxiety, then she was afraid of being a part of society. So we had this nice little paradise with 3 children and an extremely intelligent mother, but no money at all. So we only had 2,000 euros to live for a year in the 70s and the 80s. So we never got on holiday, we didn't have any friends, we never got new clothes, we never got our hair cut, and we hardly ever get washed. And that wasn't a problem where we didn't go to school, but when we come to school then we had to relate to other people, because my mother was also a very fantastic woman, very witty, very intelligent, very artistic. So my problem was that I had been totally excluded and very poor when I was raised, and I was very bullied at school. And then when I grew up, then I didn't have easily to connect to people because I had lived a very isolated life. And then when I broke down, finally at the age of 25, it was because I've been worked too much, and I fell in love with my boss. And then I got totally mad, and then they put me into hospital. They called for an ambulance, so I didn't choose that. But sometimes it takes a long time for life to breaking down, but my life wasn't that great before anyway.
That there is a direct relationship between the fact that you were being poor and those problems that you had in your health life?
There was no doubt about that I became ill because I was ill because I had a very poor background, and I was very bullied by other people, and I didn't feel that I felt in. I didn't feel that I feel in the world. And then I compensated by being smart at things and doing things. But then you ask me whether the hospital will help me. Are you asking that?
I'm going to ask you. Yeah.
Okay, you ask that
now. What help did you have in those vulnerable moments? What help did you have, and where did you get that help from?
The hospital didn't help me at all. That means from I was 25 till I was 28, I was put into hospital for 7 times with 7 different diagnoses, which were all true at the time. But all that happened all the time was that I got stabilized by getting some medicine. But I never had received any help for dealing with the problems that made me sick in the first place. I never received help for that. So after, when I was 28, then I decided that I never wanted to go to hospital again, because they didn't help me, and I didn't. They could help me to not be psychotic, but they didn't help me dealing with the problems in my life.
Did you get help from any other services? You said that health services didn't help you properly. Did you get any help from other services? Well, you said that education was a very important part of your life. Is there any other social services that may have helped you in an appropriate way for you?
You're falling too much in love with the social services, because my point is that what really saved me wasn't the hospital, it was the university, that I was allowed to belong to my friends, and I was allowed to come there even though I was very heavily drugged and very sick at the time. So I maintained my network and I maintained my education, and I think not losing. I was desperately clinging on to my network. This is despite the advice from the doctors, because they said, you've been terribly psychotic, you've been terribly sick, you should have be off a year from university. But I knew if I did that, then I would be lost. all my friends would have moved in a different direction, and I would have been lost.